Hey YouTube, this is the Purple One. Felt like I need to do this video. We need to get ahead of things. As you look at the economy, it's not looking good. That's definitely a fact. And I don't know where it's going to go. No one knows. But it's always good to be ahead of things. Good to be ahead of things, prepared. And I want to talk about what I think is going to happen. And this is my guess. And I'm looking at things that are happening around. I think layoffs are starting. I think layoffs could really get kicked into overdrive because of the logistical problems. There's just so many things missing, and companies don't need workers when they can't make their product. So they have to let you go. They can't just keep you there and sweeping the floor around your machine. That's not profitable. So what I want to think about is, let's put aside, a lot of preppers think when the economy goes bad, you know, you're going to be shooting it out with the neighbors or the local gang. And if you live in a city, you could be shooting out with the local gang. You could be shooting it out right now with the local gang. The way law enforcement is not having a huge presence and not there when we need them because of many reasons. But let's forget about ARs, man the gates. Let's forget about zombies trying to get over the wall and steal your food. Let's just talk about a Great Depression where people are going to be suffering. We're Americans. We've always, you know, manned up to the job. We were there for it. You can think of the British during the Blitz of London when they were bombed day after day, night after night. And you know what? They kept moving on, moving forward. You couldn't rattle their cage. We need to be like that. But we need to make some preparations. And I'm going to be talking to certain people here. If you're not in the position to do this, then don't do it. But we need to start thinking, what's going to happen when a ton of people become unemployed, get kicked out of their house, and are living on the streets? Now, I'm not saying drive around and find a homeless couple in their car and say, hey, come back to my house. I'm saying you probably are going to know people that are going to be homeless. You're probably going to be working with people that are homeless. You're probably going to go to church with people that are homeless. So make a plan. You might have good friends that are going to be homeless. And you might say, you know what, I can help them, but I can give them like $100 here, $200 there, but I can't make their car payment. I can't make their house payment. I can't, you know, pay their electric. I can't do it. But what can we do? I read a lot during the Great Depression where people traveled around and they lived in shanty towns. Literally, go look at the pictures. They took whatever material they could have and built a house, built something, built a shack. Look over in third world countries how they do it. Unauthorized towns just spring up, bam. And they build them to provide shelter. What are we going to do for people that we know? What are we going to do with people in their church that say, man, I'm getting kicked out. All I got is my car. Maybe they have 2 cars. What are we going to do for them? If I was homeless and I'm living out of my car, I would like somewhere safe to park that vehicle. So if you have a piece of property and you have a little bit of ability to maybe put some gravel in, clear it out a little bit, so someone could park. Now, if you're in the city, you don't have that opportunity. But if you live in a country setting like I do, start thinking now. I might have a friend. I can't take this person into my house. My house is too small, or I have people in my house. And I'm going to tell you what, bringing people into your house is going to throw everything off. And that might not be the wise thing to do. It's, you know, it's fine for a day, a week, maybe, yes. But for long term, can you provide someone with a parking space to park their car to seek shelter that's in a safe location? I mean, that's the minimum you could do for someone. Now think about, hey, I could put an outhouse out there. I could run a water line from my well out there. Or maybe I have a shed on my property, an old shed, an old chicken coop that's solidly built. Could I do something to make that building livable? Now, granted, it might be 10 by 12, but you know what? A 10 by 12 that's dry that has some insulation in it is a lot better than trying to sleep in your front seat of your car day after day, day after day, day after day. You might say, Dave, I ain't gonna do that for nobody. You know, the person that says that might be in the position where they have to take that help. So now is this time to start brainstorming. Maybe you got to spend a little bit of money, but you know what? If you spend a little bit of money, maybe put some gravel in, run electric. Maybe you got something 100 feet from your house and you could run a little bit of power, enough so they can have an outlet, some lights in your shed. You know, you're also improving your property. It's not a total waste. Just look up the shanty towns during the Great Depression. Could you provide someone? Maybe it's just providing it for a widow lady. Maybe it's providing it for a single man. Maybe it's providing it for a family with a child. Could you do it? Or are you not even thinking about that? Or are you just thinking about yourself? You could be that person that needs that shed. You could be that person that needs that little bit of remodeled chicken coop that's not being used. You could be the person that needs a place to park their car where it's safe. Could you provide a picnic table over there for them, an outhouse? Maybe you have a garage on your property that has a restroom in it. Maybe you could get that fixed up a little bit so at least they could go to the bathroom. Maybe you could put a stand-up shower and a sink and a toilet in your garage, knowing that someone could benefit from that. No one knows what the future is going to hold, but are you willing to start that process of mentally thinking, what could I do to prepare my property to take care of someone? Now, I'm not saying bring in a total stranger. You might have a couple you know. You might have a friend that has a relative. I've met a few people that lived in their cars. Some of them were mentally disturbed. I could see it, I could sense it, I could feel it. There was other people that lived in their cars because they had some bad luck in their life. They were down and out. They were good people that needed a break. So, some of you, this is not, you can't apply to you. You're already a renter. Some of you, maybe you say, dang, I got a shed on my property. It's 10 by 16. All it's got in is junk. Now is the time to let's start mentally preparing ourselves of how could I take care of a couple people that if not, they're going to live in their car. They're going to sleep in their car. Their morale is going to collapse. They're going to feel worthless because, hey, you're stuck in your car. You're not worthless. You might just need a little helping hand. I'm preaching to you because the Lord's touched my heart to say, hey, how am I going to help people? The Lord's given me property. What can I do with my property to help someone? Now you're going to be wise. You're going to make sure whoever you bring in there is a person that you can trust, a person that you will not harm your family. But if you find a person like that and you have the ability to do it, maybe the Lord is saying, hey, this is what I want you to do. I gave you this property. I gave you this shed. Time to take care of one of my children. So, we're not at that stage yet. There is homelessness. I talk to people on the phone. I get emails that they're right on the verge of getting kicked out of their apartments. And a lot of them are on the verge because some of them had their rent jacked up so much. There is no human possible way on their salary or on their pay that they can pay that. And it's almost impossible to help those people. Some are $500, $600, $700 more every month. So if it was different if they needed a $300 part for their car. So, your homework for the next couple weeks. Pray about it. Look at your property. Look at your resources. Could you help somebody? Could you do some things now to prepare your property so someone would at least have a place to park their car? You have the ability to put up even a temporary pavilion style tarp system for them with a picnic table under it. You have the ability, if you have rural property, to throw an outhouse up. Challenging you to think this way. We're not at this point totally yet. But as we go along, and if we do go into a Great Depression, the need is going to be great. Thanks for watching.